I'm hot, and then I'm cold, and then I'm hot, and then I'm cold. 38.4. The question is do I regret having the vaccine? So because I have cystic fibrosis and I'm in the extremely vulnerable category, I got the call for my COVID-19 jab on the 25th of January. And I know there's been a little bit of concern around the vaccine, so I thought I would share my experience with you. So let me take you back to the 25th of January. I've just got home from having the COVID-19 vaccine. I got the AstraZeneca one. Why do I keep calling it astronomical? The Oxford one, basically. I went in, the nurse asked me some questions about allergies and if I'd had any injections in the last 7 days or something like that. All of which were no to. And then I rolled up my sleeve and it was over within like a second. And then I had to wait in my car for 15 minutes afterwards, just in case anything happened, which nothing did. I only felt a little bit lightheaded towards the end of it, but I think that's because I'm hungry, because it's dinner time and I get hungry very easily. So at the moment I'm feeling fine. Physically, mentally, I'm going through a bit of a rough patch at the moment, so I was like numb to it, and I still do feel a little bit numb to it, but I'm sure that will start to pull through within the next couple of days. I get my second vaccine on the 19th of April, which is exactly 12 weeks from today, so I thought that was quite a big gap, but I guess it's up to 12 weeks, isn't it? So I just thought I would document this moment. It's been like 9 months of the pandemic, so and that's enough. Time's up. Good morning from my bedroom floor. I have woken up feeling pretty rough, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, last night I was really tired, but I thought that was probably just me. And then I woke up at like 3 AM burning hot and I just could not sleep for like an hour. I did my temperature and it was fine, it was 35.8. But yeah, I've woken up feeling pretty rough, which I think is quite common. And my arm as well last night when I was trying to sleep, I'd roll over on it and I'd be like, ow. Which again is a common thing. I just feel really tired and really weak and like not much energy at all. I just thought I'd do my temperature. 36.7. We're up in the high 36 and that's fine. There you go, there's my sats. 99, 98. Can't make up its mind, but it's good. Reading the side effects, and one of them was feeling sick, and I do not feel sick. I am actually really hungry, but I'm also really craving apple juice, and I have no idea why. That's not on the side effects. What's that? 1:15. Oh wow, I've gone really hot. It was quite cold a minute ago, hence the hood. 37.4 is a temperature. What is a high temperature? Google. 38 or above, and I'm, what did I say? 37.4? What's achy, tired, fatigued, low energy. I'm hot, and then I'm cold, and then I'm hot, and then I'm cold. But I've noticed that when I try and close my eyes, I just can't do it. It kind of feels like I feel dizzy, but it also feels like my mind is like racing like 1,000 miles per second. Oh, 99. Let's go to 120. Heartbeat. Oh, my hands, right? If I hold out my hands, I don't know if you can see how much they're shaking, but they are shaking. Like, alright, mate. Okay, this is weird because this temperature thing has a head and an ear thing, so you can either do your head like I did earlier, or you can do your ear, so I thought I'll just try my ear. 38.4 in my ear. It's 36.6, so I don't know. Who do I believe? Do I believe my head or my ear? To conclude, I have ears, which is hot ears, and a head. I don't have a head, I just have a head. What? I'm noticing that I'm getting like dizzy. I'm very like sensitive to light change and getting up. I get really dizzy. Man, I'm sweating. And my heartbeat as well. That was beating really hard and quite fast, considering I'm just saying it. The question is do I regret having the vaccine? Even though I feel like this? No. It's going to protect me, other people, the NHS, it's worth it. Well, good morning from my floor again. I am feeling a lot better today, as you can probably tell. See, I've got makeup on, managed to do that, so I've got more energy. I don't feel fatigued or weak anymore. The only things I'm still getting is I'm really hot, really hot. So I've just had a couple of paracetamol, and I'm also getting a bit dizzy when I move suddenly. So yeah, I'm still sore. Other than that, pretty damn good. And now we are on day 7 and I feel absolutely fine. I think the general consensus with these vaccines is that some people will get side effects and some people won't, regardless of which one you get. It's just dependent on you and how your body reacts to it. And if you are worried about the vaccine, then I highly recommend looking into and learning about how it actually works. I watched this fantastic lecture of a guy who went through each one, so the Pfizer, the Moderna and the AstraZeneca one, and explained how it works, explained the efficacy of it. Very interesting, and just learning about it really made me appreciate how intelligent our bodies actually are. It blew my mind. I was like, what? How is this so clever? This is incredible. It's very impressive, and I will leave links to that lecture and other videos in the description bar below if you want to go and check them out yourself. And I know when the vaccines started to come out, I felt quite wary and worried about it because of all of these things going around saying that it had been pushed through too quickly and what was in it and all of this sort of thing. So I thought I would do some research. So there's a few things that can be said about this. Usually when you start to make a vaccine, you have to go through writing grant applications and get rejected and then getting approval for funding and all this sort of thing. But when the economy is falling all around the world, then people will throw billions and millions of pounds and dollars into the research to get it up and running. So there was no lack of funding with this. And also in a different situation, you have to try and find volunteers to actually start the clinical trials. Whereas in this pandemic, there were plenty of volunteers that came forward. I think over 100,000, which is crazy. So you got the money, you got the volunteers, but what about how it's actually made? Well, when you think about it, this has been a collaborative effort of scientists all around the world working towards the same goal. And I think it's important to keep in mind that before COVID-19, or SARS-CoV-2 as it's being called, we have the SARS coronavirus in 2002, we had the MERS coronavirus in 2012 and so on. So there have been people who have been studying these forms of coronavirus for years. If it was a different virus, then it would have taken a lot longer to create a vaccine. And even AstraZeneca have been preparing for disease X since the Ebola crisis in 2014 to 2016. So they were preparing for something like this to hit the world. And it meant that the scientists knew the building blocks and the biology of the virus. So they weren't just starting from scratch, they had a pretty good head start with this. And if you don't know how the vaccine works, then let me just explain to you real quickly from my very basic understanding of it. So what they actually do is they take the genetic code, or mRNA, from one of the spike proteins, which is like the little arms that kind of stick out of the virus. And depending on which vaccine you get, they're all slightly different, but I'll just talk about the AstraZeneca one for now. But what they do is they convert that mRNA into DNA, and then they put this DNA inside of a chimpanzee adenovirus, which is a completely harmless virus. It just acts as a transporter to get that DNA into your cells. So it goes into the cells, and full disclaimer, it cannot change or affect your own DNA. But what it does is the cells uses its own enzymes to convert that DNA back into mRNA, and then that mRNA is pushed out and it goes through some ribosomes which make proteins, which, long story short, basically the immune system recognizes it for what it is, and it's like, hey, this thing don't belong here. So then it activates, right, the T cells, which is like the special forces sent to destroy the virus. And it also produces antibodies from your B cells. So it's like it creates some kind of awareness for your immune system, a little bit like facial recognition, because it actually creates a memory called memory B cells and memory T cells. And this means that if the virus ever does attack, then it knows exactly what to look for and exactly how to fight it more efficiently. How clever is that? You cannot catch COVID-19 from the vaccine, but what it does is it decreases your chances of catching it from someone or somewhere else. And if you do catch it from someone or somewhere else, then it decreases the chances of you getting severely sick. which of course is a huge bonus. And yes, some people get side effects and some people don't. I think it's important to remember that there are side effects with every medication out there. Even ibuprofen, side effects, headaches. And if you are still worried about the vaccine and you're like, is this actually safe though? Well, let me just say this. In the UK, we are rolling it out to frontline workers first amongst the elderly, but like people who work in the NHS, in hospitals, in GPs and all that sort of thing. And if the vaccine was actually dangerous, then we would be taking out some of our key players in this pandemic who are essential to keeping people alive. It would be a pretty stupid move, right? But fortunately, it is totally safe and it has been created by people who know what they are doing. And if you're still unsure, then take a look at the past year with all of its lockdowns and its tears, metaphorical and literal, you know, not being able to see friends and family, not being able to go on holiday, cancelling gigs, and all of that sort of stuff. And this is what it's like without a vaccine. Vaccine, vaccine, vaccine. I'm begging on you, please take COVID away. I have just nailed that. That should be the anthem for 2021. I've nailed this. Genuinely going to be seeing that for the rest of my life anyway. And to everyone who is happy to get the vaccine and knows someone who is a little bit unsure, then I think it's really important not to belittle them or to shame them, but instead listen and educate. There was a study done back in 2020 where they found that there was more disinformation being spread on social media platforms like wildfire than factual based information. And that is why a lot of platforms now have disclaimers at the bottom of it. There's probably one underneath this video that says, get the latest information on COVID-19 now. So don't believe everything that you read or hear. Ask yourself, is it fact or is it an opinion? And if you're not sure, then do your own research and come to your own conclusion, because what I realized that I was doing when I got really worried about the vaccine is that I was basing this off other people's opinions and from what I'd heard. But now I feel like I've done sufficient research to know that this vaccine is totally safe. I feel very grateful to have been vaccinated this quickly, because for anyone who doesn't know, cystic fibrosis is a respiratory condition. So I feel very grateful to the researchers and the scientists and the frontline workers and everyone who was involved in the clinical trials. We are all going to be a lot safer when we have our vaccines. So I hope you get yours soon and then we can move out of this pandemic once and for all. And thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you wanna, and I will see you in the next one. Vaccine, 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 vaccine. I'm begging on you, please take COVID away. I've nailed this.